Welcome to Office Hours. I am Steve Drost. With me, as always, we've got Will Kaplan, both, of course, from the Quivr team. What's Quivr? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. Our objective at Quivr is incredibly simple. How can we help you run your business at peak efficiency? Each week, we tackle a couple of items that come directly from our users who are trying to make their life just a little bit simpler. Now, Will, in the little intro there, I talk about Quivr users, and there's an interesting phenomena going on right now with Office Hours where people are showing up to Office Hours that I've never met, and we've got a bunch of new users in the last couple of months, and I feel like I don't ever see them.
Right? I agree with you. Like, this is weird because normally we'll do the demo and we sort of meet a couple people at the firm, and then we show up, and then Office Hours opens up, and it's like, I would expect to see some of these people here. What's like, I don't understand what's going on. Or, the one that happened to me this I think 2 weeks ago was, we're in Office Hours, and there's the list of people that are there. And I was like, okay, Steve, do you have a question? Will, do you have a question? Ryan, do you have a question? Not realizing everybody works at the same company,
Yeah.
right? Like, that was the part that I was like, oh man, here we go.
No, but it happens, right? When we do demos with like what you're describing, one of the larger firms, let's say 15 to 50 users, maybe we're doing the demos and whatnot with the founder, owner, the rainmaker, and maybe this chief, COO, something like that. But then once they get on the system, they're appointing their operations director or operations manager, their lead CSA. Those are the people that are owning Quivr in their system. So those are the people coming to Office Hours, which is pretty cool because it puts the leadership team, that C-suite team, into a position of, I need to know how Quivr works, right? I need to understand thematically how it works. I need to understand what Archer is. I need to understand what dashboards and reports are. But I don't need to understand or need to be the one, baking the cake every single time. So what they're able to do is communicate to other team members that say, hey, I want a dashboard that shows us these 6 KPIs with these specific metrics. Go build it. And the person is going to go back to them and say, how? I have no idea how to do that. And then that person gets to say, that COO or the CEO gets to say, that's fine. Go to the community, watch the videos, and if you still have questions, go to Office Hours. So they're delegating their support to you and I.
Well, and I think this is one of the things that makes Quivr powerful, right? Is we're cooks that eat our own food. When someone comes and says, like, I want to see this dashboard, or I want to see this report, or I want to do this process, one of the first things we usually ask is like, okay, well, hold on.
Why? What are you trying to accomplish?
What are you trying to do here? And it's so that we can wrap our head around from like okay, I'm sitting in the advisor seat, and I'm sitting in the support seat, and I'm sitting in the Quivr seat. Like, one of the things that I feel like is just that makes Quivr so special is this is a tool built by advisors for advisors. And that translates into this specific situation where it's like, okay, I want to see this report. And the support personnel, the operations manager, whoever it might be, is like, I don't get it.
Why?
I don't ever work with this stuff.
Yeah. What revenue metric matters? Is it AUM? Is it this? Is it that? No, and I'm sitting here thinking I know exactly why they want, because I sit in all of these seats. And we also understand too, Will, me and you are the weird ones. We are the weird ones. I fully understand that. Nobody other than probably us and maybe 7 other people on this planet start a planning firm, and then one of their first objectives is to nerd out on operations. Most people want to do all the marketing stuff. I hate marketing. I enjoy these videos, I guess. So maybe I don't hate marketing. But the point is, right, like we have that skill set where we've sat in every single seat, and it's pretty cool. Now that's the bigger firms. If I didn't run Quivr, and I was a Quivr user, because of course I would be, right? I would never come to Office Hours. Not once. Most people listening to this know my mom is my admin. That would be her role. Without a doubt. She would be going to Office Hours every single week. She'd be one of those people that sat on mute and with the camera off, and she'd eat her lunch on Wednesdays at 12:30 Central, just listening. And when I inevitably told her I need something or I want something, I guess they're all wants, but Mom, I want this, to do that. And if she can't figure it out, she now, because she's been to Office Hours, has the rapport too with me and you. We know her. There's a little bit of connection there. She's going to feel, not intimidated by, I'm asking a quote unquote stupid question, because there are no such things as a stupid question at Office Hours. Right? She's going to be able to come there, get her answer, bring it back to me. Maybe we want to tweak it a little bit, but she's going to just get it done for me. I don't have to worry about it.
Well, and the other piece of that is like, a lot of times we'll start on this is what I want. This is how I want this to work.
Yeah.
And then either you or I will say, like, I think I understand what you're looking for there, but you should probably also add this other, push it just a little bit further. And then that individual gets to come back and be like, in your case, your mom gets to come back and say, hey, Steve, like, I took what you wanted and then I gave you a little bit extra, right? I gave you just that little other piece of like connectivity or, insight into the data set where it comes from kind of that group think that larger exposure to see 5 other firms doing it this way. You might want to think about doing it this way. Like you get that richer experience.
But we do need to also be very clear where, like, let's go back to me and my mom as the example. I can't just not do anything with Quivr, right? I need to understand conceptually how everything ties together. Do I need to know how to build a workflow? No. But do I need to know that workflows are a feature within the system and know how workflows can be kicked off automatically through processes? Yeah. And is that hard to grasp? No. The new user onboarding course and a couple of other videos in the community, and you'll be to that level. What we're trying to get you to delegate off of your plate is kind of like that 80-20 rule, right? We've got 80% of our business, just it's smooth, but that 20%. So an example of that 20% could be a fairly complex dashboard that shows you the KPIs you want to see. So for example, I have a KPI dashboard that shows me my efficiency and profitability per client. It's not easy. It took me a few hours to build, but I now have it. I now know how it works. And that's something where like there's not a lot of value in knowing how to build that one, because once it's built, it's done. I don't need to know this. I don't need to remember the specific formula that it took or the specific algorithm that I applied to somehow come up with this arbitrary, efficiency per client, right? I don't need that. That's not knowledge that I need to remember. It's like the Pythagorean theorem when you were in 7th or 8th grade. Why do I need to know this? Sorry, teachers out there, you don't. And that's kind of the same thing. So you need to have a base level of knowledge and also have a good understanding of how all the features tie together. But I'm not surprised, right, that we're not seeing a lot of the founders, rainmakers, C-suites, owners coming to office hours. It's a lot of support staff.
You'll see them every once in a while when there's something that they're like, kind of that big picture, like, I don't know that Quivr could ever do this, or this is just something really unique to our firm that we kind of want, and we love that too. Like, I
Or
don't want to discourage
integrations too. A lot of that. We're thinking about making a change with this piece of technology. What are your guys' thoughts? We get that a
Yeah.
lot. How does this work with Quivr? What if you were to get a form software, which one would you use? I'm looking at portfolio management tools. I mean, I've used pretty much all of them. Which one would you recommend and why? Right? So that is definitely where you're right. We see kind of the firm owners, et cetera, coming for those conversations. But those are also huge decisions that you should be involved in. Figuring out the formula to calculate efficiency by client isn't something you need to know how to do.
Right. And I think one of the sort of unique benefits from where we sit is, if it's something that we've used, we have an opinion about it. If it's something we haven't used, we probably have a user that has an opinion about it. And we've seen some of it like tangentially because they've said like, oh, I'm thinking about using this XYZ software and I really like that it does this, but it doesn't integrate with anything, or it really falls down here. And we hear about that. And so I feel like we're in this kind of like strange technology consulting space just accidentally, because people are asking us questions about, how does this work? How does that work? Does it integrate? What does it do?
We need to be
Um,
careful not to endorse at certain times. At least me, I struggle with that. But no, Will, all good stuff as always. I hope you guys are enjoying the series as much as we are. If you're a Quivr user, remember, join us for office hours on Wednesdays, or have your team join us for office hours on Wednesday, of course, where we can help you and your team with similar issues. And if you're not a Quivr user, that's okay. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. But remember, it is not too late. Schedule a demo, come hang out with me and Will, and see Quivr in action for yourself.